This Omen X laptop is laughing at my desktop. So this came into the office, Omen X. This is the whole package, you know, like stuff for us to look at. This is the Omen X17, and I'll give you guys just a quick 3 big things. 120 hertz G-Sync 17-inch display, running at 1080p. You guys have Thunderbolt on this thing. You guys have a mechanical keyboard, and it's also easy to upgrade. There's like a see-through panel on the bottom that you can remove and just get to all your internals, and that's it. So those are already 3 really huge things that make me feel like this is more than just a regular gaming laptop. One of the main reasons I say that is because I'm actually having a better experience on this than I am at my desktop at home. So this has a GTX 1070 with 8 gigabytes of GDDR5. It also has the Intel i7, it's the 7700 HQ. That maxes out at 3.8 gigahertz on the turbo. Now get this, you can actually overclock both of those. They allow you to do that. You can use the Intel software, the Extreme Tuning, and you can use whatever software you like to mess with the GTX 1070. I mean, it's pretty much a full desktop implementation. A few extra CUDA cores, a little bit lower speed, but yeah, it's not like the olden days when we used to have to use a mobile part. Now, this is a full implementation, so you can overclock those. So you can see on the back here, we've got these 2 huge vents. We've got 4 heat pipes going through there. They're 3.5 millimeter heat pipes, and that's going to keep things nice and cool. Another thing, since this is big, I mean, it's thick. It's 1.43 inches thick. That's pretty decently thick for a laptop. It also weighs 10.69 pounds. Being big and heavy has some benefits, but you got to carry it around. The benefits are you can overclock it, and it's not going to be nearly as loud. It's just going to be powerful. Also, the keyboard, mechanical. I know you guys have seen some of those like sensational full-size mechanical keyboard on a laptop. In my opinion, this is what I want on a laptop. It's not as big, it's not as bulky. The keys on this, the travel distance is 2.5 millimeters as opposed to the 4 like you'd have on a desktop computer. Some of them are a little bit less than that. But these are really fast to actuate. You feel a tactile bump, you hear a little click. They feel kind of like premium plunger switches, so they're somewhere in between the feeling of what you would get on a full-size desktop, but they sure do beat the hell out of chiclet keys, in my opinion. They feel a lot better than that for typing, they feel a lot better than that for gaming. And the keyboard itself has a nice look to it. That's subjective. So it also has RGB, of course. Everything has to have RGB. You've got RGB here, you've got RGB on the logo. You have all these different zones. Let's just cut in and take a look at the RGB video right now. The Omen Command Center, it's actually quite useful. Not a lot of bloat. You got all your utilization charts right here and stuff. Lighting, now you can do animations. Let's show you a few of those. We got the, start off with the Omen X, because it's the Omen X. There we go. Now whenever you hit this, whoa, an X. And it's, you can do it custom, just like one color. You can change your speed. Gotta do one in red, just because we got to. And let's see here. Ghosting, just, that's ghosting. Ripple. Volcano ripple. Change your ripple size. Huge ripples. Raindrops are kind of interesting. Hit apply. Just got purple going, but we can go over here and do the different themes too. So you have that. Or we can set up just static colors, and you can go in and individually, assign sets of keys, if you like. Do custom sets like that. And there's your MOBA set. I'm just going to do all the keys and set them to purple because I like purple. I fancy it. You guys can come in here and program several different macros, and you have the macro buttons over on the left side of the keyboard here. So you can create a new macro, add in your delays, edit your sequence here, set it to whichever key you like. Last but not least, they've included a network booster. This is a very simple way to get just a little bit more, especially if you're on like a limited connection. So auto will give packet prioritization to whatever program is active or maximized on the screen. If you're playing a game or something like that, this would be handy. And then custom, you can come in here and actually tune your bandwidth usage depending upon whichever program. And it'll show you all the programs that are open down here, so you can easily come in and just set the priorities right there. So that's very easy. So one other thing with the lighting, we can control the exterior lighting as well, and we have 6 different zones. So you see, actually 8 different zones if we count the zones on the top of the laptop here. The power button can be changed and everything. So let's go ahead and change that so you can see it. Make that purple as well. Power button is now purple. And the Omen, let's make it green. Purple and green. There we go. You can come in here and change the Omen logo. Let's make it pink. And let's make this something else. I don't know. Change each side of this. Oh God, where did I make this thing goofy? God, that's ugly. That is so ugly. You can also set up color loops and everything else. So if you want to do some color loops, add in some of those, give it some animation, change the animation speed, you can do all that. All right, let's take a look at the bloatware. The most egregious offense here is McAfee. It's all over the place. You can't even like close it there's no option to close it over here, so you're gonna have to uninstall it. So that's pretty egregious. The other one is just, it's got the trial version of Microsoft Office on here, so every time you try to open up a Word document, it's gonna be like, hey, do you wanna buy this stuff? Other than that, it's decently clean, but I'm gonna have to remove McAfee because it's keeping me from opening games. It's really obnoxious. The touchpad feels pretty good too. And we've got, like a metal, like a brushed metal on top here, and then a lot of plastic, but it feels solid. As far as the hinge on this thing, I want to point this out. We've got 2 major hinges. It's different than a lot of laptops. Check this out. One finger. It didn't come off the desk. It didn't do that stupid thing where you're lifting it up and you're like trying to open your laptop, and it's like it's like a low rider. You're like, it's nice and heavy on the bottom, so the top opens without it flopping around. It just feels right, guys. Feels so right. All right, let's take a tour of all the ports, and then I'll tell you about the storage and the RAM and stuff. But I want to get to the ports. I'm doing this in order of excitement, okay? Over on the side here, you've got your SD card, and you've got a USB 3.1. Now, on the back, over here, you've got a smattering of interesting things. You've got USB 3.1. We've got 2 3.1 Type-C connectors, and those are certified for Thunderbolt. Thank you, HP, for that. Really like having Thunderbolt on the back of this thing. We also have an Ethernet port, a display port, that's a mini display port, and we also have HDMI, so you can run this to extra monitors. I mean, this could be a desktop replacement for a lot of you guys out there. If you're going to run it out to a 4K monitor, you might want to overclock the GPU just a little bit, or turn off some of the filters. If you turn off like the anti-aliasing and stuff and run it on a 4K monitor, you should be able to get really good performance out of a laptop using it as a desktop. And on the other side over here, we have a USB 3.1, and we have a headphone and microphone. Now, they've given us these things. I'll get to these in just a minute because they actually are worth a mention. A lot of times the peripherals that come with laptops, I'm like, whatever. But these are worth a mention, so stay tuned for that. I was really freaking surprised by those. I'm surprised to the point of like almost being like, what? We have a 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD, and that's going to be for your OS, and it's just blazing fast and all that. Then we have a 1 terabyte SATA hard drive. You guys can easily pop in there and add more if you wanted to. Swap this out. But this is going to keep it at a nice price point. And then we have 16 gigabytes of DDR4 as far as the memory goes. And like I said, really easy to jump in there and upgrade stuff. The dimensions of this unit are 16.73 by 12.88 by 1.43. So again, it's a big boy. You gotta have yourself a big backpack for this thing. This is gonna be great for going over to your friend's house and playing video games. It's one of the only laptops that I've actually sat down and been like, yeah, I can game on this. I mean, I always want a bigger screen, but this one, the 17.3 inch, is not bad, but just how smooth it played. I'd never actually gotten a kill playing PlayerUnknown on a laptop until I played with this one. I got a couple kills yesterday in my first game, but I mostly played on desktop. But to be fair, I have played a few games with this with my other laptop. So this comes pre-installed with Windows 10, and with the Fall Creator update, that's going to give you a few extra FPS in your game. I'm not sure what Microsoft really did here, but that's a hell of an upgrade. Also, if you guys wanted to, I mean, Linux will work just fine on this thing. You guys can install that on a separate partition and mess around and just have a massive dual boot gaming rig if that's what you're into. You can do whatever you like. Now, they've also got a pretty big battery in this. Just general use, 5.5 hours. That's, this is too big for some of you smug characters who sit in coffee shops writing screenplays. So, I don't know, maybe you can sit in a coffee shop and work on a video game or something like that. As far as gameplay and all that sort of thing, with watching videos, it's around 4 hours, 15 minutes, they say, but we'll say around 4 hours. And then gameplay is going to be somewhere between 3 and 4 hours. So, hey, you're taking a train ride from somewhere to somewhere else, you could just run it on battery. And And don't even plug in your headphones. Just turn up the thing and drown out all those guys who are like listening to their phones without headphones on. Show them what's up. Be like, oh, you guys can listen to your stupid music? Well, you guys can listen to me game. So the bottom line for this is if you need a gaming laptop that can also replace your desktop and be something you could take around everywhere, this is one of the best that I've seen. And that's above and beyond the part that, this is a sponsored video. Thanks very much, HP. But I would not say that I like it unless I actually like it. So I actually do like this a lot. A lot of it has to do with the G-Sync. And if you're someone who's new to this channel or new to technology in general, G-Sync basically means that whatever speed your game is playing at, whatever frame rate you're getting in your game, it's going to match the refresh rate of your monitor to the FPS you're getting in your game. So every time a frame comes out, your monitor is going to refresh, and it's going to be a very smooth experience without any of the stuttering or the screen tearing like you see, ghosting of things moving around and all that weirdness. So it makes the games feel even smoother at lower FPS. But this thing plays at a pretty high FPS, and let's take a look at some benchmarks. All right, so guys, I benchmarked PlayerUnknown's 3 times because it's difficult to benchmark that game. I benchmarked it once while fighting people. I benchmarked it once while just running through the open area and picking up loot and stuff. And I benchmarked it once on a motorcycle going as fast as I could. So those 3 benchmarks averaged 75 on one, 69 or 65.9 on one, and 64.6 on one of those. So it was always above 60 at Ultra, which I'm pretty freaking impressed with. I didn't notice really any stuttering, and it just was a very smooth experience. It's strange that this is like one of the smoothest experiences I've had with PlayerUnknown's, and I was running it on Ultra. I'm going to turn down the shadows and stuff like that so I can spot people more easily, but it was a very smooth experience. All right, Rise of the Tomb Raider was at 67.2 FPS. All right, so Witcher I played at 1080p, and I maxed out everything. 52.7, and get this, the minimum was 48. So 52.76 average with a minimum of 48, that is a very nice experience. Hair effects and that sort of thing. Just turn down some of these filters and I was easily getting 65, 67 FPS. So this thing can really game. The only thing that's going to keep me from carrying it around everywhere is the fact that it's 10.69 pounds or whatever. So it is a little bit heavy, but really the fact that this thing is so bulky, you're not going to want to move it around too much, I don't think. But as long as you have a big backpack and you're not going to complain all day long, this is probably going to be okay for most things, because you're not going to carry it for hours and hours and hours, are you? I mean, you're going to carry it, put it in your car, take it somewhere else, carry it inside, play some video games, carry it to the coffee shop, maybe walk around town a little bit. But let me know what you guys think. Is it too heavy to carry around? Is this something you would use as a desktop replacement? And right now is a good time to be looking at this kind of stuff, because most of the parts in here have been out for a while. And toward the end of the year, we should be able to see some sales on these items. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, yes, let's take a look at that. All right, so they also threw in a couple of other items for us to play around with. And I'm pretty impressed with both of these things. So the mouse right here, 3360 based mouse. This is the Omen X 600. So this mouse has a really nice rubber grip on the side. The overall build quality is pretty good. It's not too heavy, somewhere in the middle as far as that goes, but it's smooth and sleek. We got a braided cable on there. You guys know how I feel about braided cables as far as the drag on the desk, but as long as you have some way to prop it up a little bit, it should be nice for gaming. I mean, I got a few kills with this thing. It's accurate. So the DPI on this, I've all the way up to 12,000. It's kind of ridiculous. You can go in and set it to something lower. I was playing mine at 1,000, I think. On the bottom here, we have a weight system. So if you guys wanted a lighter mouse, you could just pull this off and pull the weights out. That's what I did. I like to be decent. I actually like mine to be around 120 grams, but most people like around 100 grams. So you can take out the weights and get it nice and light. So next up here, they gave us a headset to check out to go with this. And I put this on expecting nothing. I expected absolutely nothing. The build quality is premium. Super plush memory foam right here. And I love this floating headband. That's one of my favorite types of headsets. I can wear this to bed. Got a microphone right here. You position it wherever you like. Now, you guys know that I have a reputation online for not liking gaming headsets. I plugged this one in, and I'm going to start off with my complaint. The bass is maybe a little bit too boomy, but I like treble, and I like a flat frequency response. This gives me a lot of treble. which is the big problem I have with most gaming headsets out there. They're just too muddy in the top. They have a lot going on with the mid-range, so you can hear the footsteps and stuff, but they don't have that sparkle, so they end up sounding muddy. The frequencies are just all kind of ugh. This one sounds more like a more of a hi-fi profile, but you get a lot in the high ranges, which makes like listening to music, like rock and roll and stuff, it actually sounded pretty good. So for a gaming headset, this is up there with the HyperX Cloud being one of the only two on the market that I actually thought sounded pretty good. So that's not bad. This is the Omen X 800. I'm probably going to be playing a lot of games on this thing, and this will be like something I take to LAN parties and that sort of thing, because it's compact and it really plays everything. I might take this and an extra monitor, because I always like having two monitors, you know. So that would be a lot easier than carrying around a whole desktop. And like you guys see here, it's just as fast as most of the desktops out there on the market. So let me know what you guys think of the Omen X 17, and also, you know, the other peripherals, but mainly the laptop. What do you guys think of this as far as the specs, the performance, and you know, the price? You guys can check out the price. There are links in the top of the description. Be sure to grab a shirt of the month before these are gone. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We'll see you guys in the comments on the forum.